Hi, you guys. It is Thursday, May the 2nd, 2019. My name is Doris, and this is the Knit and Purl Podcast, episode 172. Hello again. It's been almost a month, not quite a month, 3 weeks since I last podcast. Anyway, you can find the show notes for this podcast at knitandpurl, P-E-A-R-L, Doris.blogspot.com. In social media, I am One Fine Cow, all spelled out, on Ravelry and Twitter. I am One Fine Design, the number one, on Facebook and Etsy, and I am Doris M. Smith, all lowercase and smooshed together, on Instagram. This podcast has a Ravelry group, which is the Knit and Purl Podcast group. You do not have to remember all of these because in the down bar below there is a link to the show notes, a link to the Ravelry group. So you can go click on those things, and in the Ravelry, in the show notes at the top, social media, all the links are there. You can click and go follow me. Thank you. I do birthday shout outs, and I'm doing the first part of May. So I'm just going to shout out the birthday girls and boys in the month of May, or first part of the month of May. Ravelry group birthdays. We have Crafty JT503. Her birthday is tomorrow. We have Kay Glory. Her birthday is on Cinco de Mayo. Did you know I knew Spanish? That's all I know. The 5th of May. And One Fine Cow, me. My birthday is on the 9th of May. We have Christy Rose. Her birthday is on the 10th of May. Packy Knits 1. Her birthday is also on the 10th. Lost Boys 3. His birthday is on the 11th. Sock Sonic. Her birthday is on the 12th. CC Carey. Her birthday is on the 14th. And last but not least, Diane Pierce, 21. Her birthday is on the 15th. So happy birthday, you all. I hope that you will have a wonderful birthday, that you get good fibery gifts, that you get to do all the things you want to do on your birthday. And by all means, that you get and eat your version of a birthday cake. Happy birthday. So that leads us to the part in the podcast where we talk about the new alongs. And it has recently been posted in the group. And here I'm going to tell you we're doing May Finish It Along. So let's finish some stuff and get a chance to win a prize. Whips. The longest languishing whip turned foe will receive a prize. Another prize will be by random number generator. Starts now and will end on May 31st. Chatter is always welcome and encouraged on that thread. Knit or crochet. Let's get her done and have some fun. Prize is yet to be determined. So story of the week and stash enhancement. There is no new stash. So Ted and I continue to plug along. He is having some increased pain in his right arm and hand that seems to be slowing down his progress. So please continue to pray that we can start seeing some recovery and less pain. We had a really good Easter with all the kids and grandkids that came over. They brought the food and they cleaned up afterwards. Ted spent some time in his favorite rocker, which was, and he went outside for a little bit, which both things was a victory because he was afraid to get in his rocker recliner because he was afraid he would get dizzy. But he got in it and he rocked and it was fine. And he enjoyed going outside and eating his lunch and spending time with the grandkids outside. So good time was had by all. So I did not get a house pearl. So we're just going to move into the knitting. I have one, or the crafting, knitting, crocheting part. I have one finished object, and it is nothing that you've ever seen before. I finished a crochet ball that, if you click on the link in the show notes, it'll take you to a video tutorial that, In Stitches, Jada In Stitches from YouTube did a tutorial, and I had some really chunky yarn, and so I just crocheted a wonky ball. And me and CJ had fun throwing it in the house the other day, so well worth the time. It was didn't take very long at all to make, so there you have it. I don't know how long it took, because, there was interruptions. So that is the only finished object. I have a hoe, which you'll see in the whips. So, whips, my crafting has been all over. I started a few things, that ball being one. And I worked on a few things. I did pull out this beautiful sweater and got into the color work, the last leaf section at the bottom. And I remembered how much fun the color work was. Sorry, I remembered. I'm like, oh my goodness. So, let me see where my marker is. There's where I was the last time I podcast. So I finished the cross chart, and I think I got 5 more rows to finish this color work, and then go ahead with the body, and then pick up and knit the sleeves. But this is the Tecumseh sweater. It is a paid for pattern on Ravelry by Caitlin Hunter, or Boylan Knits. The yarn I'm using, I'm using Lion Brand Big Scoop Ice Cream in the colorway Moon Mist, which is the background yarn. The pink is Kartapu Act Soft in the pink colorway. And then this leaf, it is also Kartapu, which is a hobium yarn, in the smoky gray colorway. I'm using US 4s and US 6s, 40-inch circulars, not magic, knitting in the round. So, I like it. I was enjoying the color work until I remembered I had a baby blanket, and she's due in a week, so I had to put this on hold while I finished this baby blanket. So, this is an enjoyable knit. This is actually my 3rd color work project. So, don't think you can't do it. You can do it. Because I'd never done color work before. Until Caitlin Hunter grabbed me with her patterns. Okay. I also am crocheting another virus in this, just a 31 bag. I did a little bit on it, but again, it's kind of taken a back seat for now. I'm using a J This is a Knit Picks hook J. The yarn I'm using is Red Heart Unforgettable in the color Stained Glass. Isn't that just so pretty? Isn't that going to be gorgeous? As you can see, there's where I was. I completed 3 pattern repeats. There's where I was, and I completed 3 pattern repeats. This is an addictive pattern. Don't start it. You'll have a canister full of virus shawls. Anyway, this we'll get back to after I finish the baby blanket. I haven't really been, sometimes I'm more, my mojo's better than others. So I'll show you my hoe, my half finished object. There it is. And the lighting, I'm sorry, it's later at night than I normally podcast, and it's been rainy and stormy all day. So I'll get up close so you can actually see the color. The yarn is a on the round signature sock in the speckled cosmic rainbow. Needles are my Carbons US 2.75 double point. The pattern is Orange is the New Black, which is the paid for pattern on Ravelry by Vanessa Fletcher. In my Thank God for Bags cow bag. I have not started the second sock. So I'm going to take this off and put this in here. And I'm going to put this back in the bag, excuse me. Is that all of the whips? No, you haven't seen the baby blanket yet. Okay. The baby blanket I am knitting is, I'm just going by the recipe for Grandma's favorite dishcloth and knitting a full baby blanket. I'm using Big Twist yarn, Rainbow Classics in the Ocean Abyss colorway. This is the first ball, collapsed as it is. This, you see the clip, that's where I was last time. And I have started on the downward. I plan on taking this with me on the weekend and finishing it. And you see, there's been knots that I've had to just break, and I'll have to weave in the ends. There were a few knots that I had to do some correcting. So I'm almost done, and then I'll block it, and hopefully I'll be able to give it to her Monday or Tuesday. But I'm taking it with me. This weekend is the annual Mushroom Festival that my sister and I attend every year in honor of our mother, who absolutely loved to go. So we continue to meet up and go to the Mushroom Festival. So that'll be this weekend. I'll be leaving Ted for the first time since he had his stroke. Yeah. So anyway, he insists that I go, so I'm going. One more thing to show you, as if those whips weren't enough and all of the whips that are waiting up there for attention wasn't enough. I started a crocheted bowl. I'm just making it up as I go along. I did a flat surface for however, until I thought it was big enough, doing increases as I go. And then I started doing this. And I'm just using up some Red Heart Super Saver. I'm holding the yarn double. And this is Aspen Print colorway of Red Heart Super Saver. I'm using a L hook, which is just a Boyd 8mm. I use this hook also on the ball, but yeah, I'm working on this when I want to grab something, but I can't really work on it for long periods of time because it starts to hurt my hand. But I'm just, I had the hankering and I wanted to make a bowl, so just making it up as I go along. And here's again the yarn. I think, by George, that is it. Let me look at my notes. Tecumseh, yellow, orange, vanilla is the new black. I hope I said that pattern right. Virus shawl and the baby blanket and the crochet bowl. That's what my whips have been, scatterbrainedishly. And I finished my first bobbin on this spin that I've been spinning since before we left for Florida. I spin every once in a while, but you can see it's kind of a green and blue, different tones of green and blue. This is the first bobbin. I started the second bobbin, and this is Falkland, which I've never spun, so it's spinning up nicely. We shall see when it's done what it turns out to be. Sorry, I'm sure you love seeing the top of my head. There it is. I have a Pinterest, and then I'm going to let you go. This is a short one. Like I said, my mojo's been kind of all over the place. So I'm going to show you the Pinterest that caught my eye and that I want to do. There's a link in the show notes to all of the patterns and things that I've talked to you about and my whips. There's links to all the things. And there's also, just click on Pinterest and you'll find a pattern for this beautiful thing. The page opens up to no picture, but let me just show you what the picture is. It's a beautiful feather and fan poncho knit with crochet with cotton yarn. It's so pretty. And I have some cotton yarn from a sweater that I started to knit and ripped out and frogged. This calls for worsted, but I think that mine is DK, but it'll just mean it's more airy. There'll be more room in between the stitches. I think I'm going to make that sometime this summer. Maybe. I want to. Dream knitting, how about that? Vicariously, I want to knit that. Finally, at the bottom of the show notes and in the down bar below, there is a link to my Etsy store. Please go over, have a look around, and if you find something that you just can't live without or you want a gift for Mother's Day, go ahead and purchase it and I will ship it to you lightning fast. Bye, you guys. Have a beautiful, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you the next time I turn on the camera. Bye, you guys.